Left of boom, right of boom, which side is your company on? If you've never heard that term before, boom, what this refers to is an incident that happens in your environment. Maybe it's a server that goes offline. Maybe it's an email account that was accessed by a threat actor from a country that you've never even been to. Maybe it's an invoice or a wire transfer that went to the wrong account. These are all examples of right of boom. Let me tell you a story. Met with a CPA firm a few months ago, and they experienced several days of downtime. It was related to a workstation that was set up several years ago, and it was set up as a server. So the Intuit apparently had walked them through setting up QuickBooks Enterprise. All of their client files had gotten shared off of this station, and they had grown to about 5 users in this environment. So everyone was connected to this server, or it was really a workstation acting as a server. And there was no service level agreement. So there was no warranty on the device that protected it from extended downtime. The backups that were performed were done in a manual fashion. So they were only done like every few days. And unfortunately, the backup was like 5 days old. So that basically they lost about a week's worth of data. So what they were looking for is someone to help them get back up and running. This happened in March. So they were in a real scramble. Unfortunately, we didn't have a workstation in stock that met the requirements. So we ended up sourcing a machine from a local store. We had to upgrade the operating system on it because it came with a basic, like a home version or a starter version of Windows. So they had to purchase a version of Windows to meet the requirement. We got everything set up. It took about 15 hours. We worked, I think it was until like 3 or 4 a.m. to get everything set back up. The data that we restored, unfortunately, was stale. So they had lost several days of data. And it's hard to quantify how catastrophic this was. There was a lot of text messages, emails, lots of frustration. And these are all examples of right of boom. Left of boom is usually the boring stuff of where you're sitting down with a client and you're reviewing everything. You're looking at the line of business applications, the assets that are critical to the organization, the internet connections, the documentation, everything that needs to take place in order to put together a good safeguard for the organization. These are things that are critical. And even with organizations that work with a security provider, whether that's an individual or a corporation that does managed IT services, what we're finding is that risks are accepted on behalf of the client more often than I would care to share with you. The max tolerated downtime is never defined in the beginning for an asset. The recovery time objective is never written out, what we call the RTO. And how are we going to recover this particular asset? What are the steps and procedures? And when we do restore the data, how much data will be lost? Will that be an hour's worth of data? Will that be a full day's worth of data? Lots of these things are not defined. So in the next few weeks, I'm going to put together a weekly series that shows you real-world examples of right of boom. And then what left of boom would look like in these scenarios and what countermeasures and safeguards can be put in place to prevent these things. If this sounds interesting to you, follow along. My name is Brian Stewart. I'm the CTO here at Data Professionals. Look forward to talking to you soon.